This George Floyd situation, I'm going to address it and give my thoughts. It's such an unjust way to die at the hands of somebody who was supposed to serve and protect you. At the hands of a racist. And there was three. I think there was 3 cops they've arrested now. You know, he purposely caused asphyxiation. He purposely killed George Floyd. When it was all coming out that he was under charges of 3rd-degree murder, now it's 2nd-degree murder. His wife's left him because he's a racist. And I feel that, okay, the protests are just because they're feeling oppressed. They're feeling that this is a hit on their entire community, or black lives, if I can use that term. You know, the whole black race. That they feel that they have to scream and shout because they've had to scream and shout for hundreds and hundreds of years, because they've been oppressed, segregated at the hands of the white man, mostly. So there's people like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, who fought against racism, who stood their ground, who tried to make an equal life. You know, even here in the UK in the 70s, there was huge racism. And it wasn't until the 90s that things started to mellow out and there wasn't as much racism. And then when we got to the 2000s, it wasn't as much as it is. It's kind of accepted. Now, do I think racism is right? No, racism is not right. You should accept everybody of whatever faith or whatever skin color, whatever they are, gay, straight, whatever, trans, bi, whatever. Everybody is the same because there's one race and that's a human race. Now, I always say ignorance and racism are taught. So when you were born, you've got a clean slate. So that is taught to you. Ignorance and racism is taught. You can unlearn that if you choose to unlearn that. If you don't choose to unlearn that, then you are just a racist. It's not right. We're in 2020. We're not in the 1600s, 1700s, where, you know, racism was seen as the norm, as it were, where blacks were segregated, Asians were segregated, you know, and basically the white race was the winning race, so to speak, if I can use that term. Everybody is equal. And everybody should have the same equal opportunities as everybody else. Just because of a different pigmentation in the skin doesn't make you any less of a person to me anyway. You know, so that's why I feel that these protests are going on, is because the black community is feeling that it's going back hundreds of years. This is racism at its finest. And I don't agree with the looting, but peaceful protesting, I agree with. I mean, get that point across and do what they feel is right until they change the legislation. At the core of all this, it's laws that are the whole be-all and end-all of it all. It's nothing else. There's laws protecting police officers from killing people. And there's other laws that don't protect people. But the black community's always been oppressed. Definitely always been oppressed. And it's about time that stopped. You don't need that. You don't need that oppression. You don't need the segregation. We do not need to go back 400 years to try and rebuild all this again. You know what? No matter who you are, doesn't really matter to me. You know? But on this whole thing, he was killed unjust. George was killed unjust. And I hope in some way that the family can find peace. And I hope that this doesn't set back the whole segregation, racism again. Because we do not need to live in a world with racists. That's no way to be. Anyway, kind of a long video. Let me know what you think down below, guys. See you later.